advocate for capital punishment. It's just wild to me that, like, he has this kind of attitude here for some reason, but he doesn't have the same energy for people that he knows.
Because they weren't convicted, and you shouldn't be calling them as if they did the things that they're being accused of. And I think he's really, like, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, this is honest advice to Hassan. The fact is, and this is the case with me too, we are getting into a position where he and I are both very, very successful in our careers.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
He is very successful, and I think that I am too.
You
that
don't have to be a
is
witch
also
to find the magic
a problem
in this world.
because people
But
will
it
see
does
people
help.
like us say something, and they will try to dissect it and figure out a way that they can sue us. Hassan needs to watch out by saying this random stuff and going off and coming up with these names about people and saying this stuff, because eventually you're going to run yourself into a defamation lawsuit. And it doesn't matter how many Twitter orbiters you have and how many people you ban in chat. Whenever you're sitting there in the courtroom being accused of defamation or lying about somebody, it's not going to matter whether there's a genocide going on. It's not going to matter whether, you know, what his dad did. It's not going to matter any of these other bullshit accusations. What's going to matter really is it is Zionist? Is it, oh, this person took money from Israel or something? It's ridiculous. And you're gonna, like, and I think really he should look at, like, really, I mean, you know, he will not admit this publicly, but take a step back and think about it, you know.
3, 2,
do you think that you handled the dog collar thing very well? I think the answer to that probably is no. You really didn't.
Some call me arrogant.
And I think that the way that you've dragged it on, and everything else, you've brought other people into it as well. This is not helpful, and it's been bad. And I think that one of the reasons why is because it seems very clear to me that Hassan is unable to accept any degree of fault, ill behavior, mistake, even a very small one. And I think that what that's going to do in a long enough timeline is it's going to get into a lot of trouble. Right now, it's just some bullshit internet drama. He shocked his dog, memes. The memes are funny. He knows they're funny. Everybody knows they're funny. If you keep doing this and saying this stuff about people, eventually you're going to run into a problem legally. I think it's obvious, and you should know that. I don't know why he's doing this. He's setting himself up to fail for no reason. And it will happen.
So much cooler
it will
than
eventually happen for sure.
You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
Given a long enough time.
Some assistance, please.
You've got to stop making shit up about it.
Over here, I can heal you. Is anyone willing to help?
This multi-million-dollar house.
We are undefeatable!
And I'm not talking about weirdos trying to, like, attack you. I ban people in my chat for even implying that.
Pick up your tools.
But what I am saying is that there is a monetary, legal target on your back. And you need to watch out for that. You're setting yourself up to fail for no reason. There's no reason you need to do this. I don't know why he does it. I really don't. Why do you care about him so much? I mean, I'm not caring about it. I'm listening to it. I hear what he's saying. Like, we have a lot of mutual friends.
Destiny awaits.
And also, like, the thing is that there's a number of things with Hassan that I agree with Hassan. Like, there's a lot of economic things I agree with. It's disappointing to see these, like, weird partisan wedge issues
against the world.
People that have, in a lot of cases, symbiotic goals into enemies. It didn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be like this. There's no reason to do it.
Again!
It's unnecessary. It's counterproductive, and it's destructive. And eventually, it will destroy them.
Chance is over.
And I think that's a sad thing. It is. That's where I'm at. I don't have anything negative to say about him personally. I mean, I will say this about Hassan, right? I do not think that Hassan is a horrible person. Dog thing is separate. I don't think that he is. The reason why. By the for 10 years. Over 10 years. There have never been a lot of really, really bad controversies about him. There have never been a lot of really bad leaks about bad things that he's done.
They hit a checkpoint.
Most of the bad
Might
things
be
that
a
he's
good time
done,
to stop
he's
them.
done on camera. And I'm coming at this from the perspective of a content creator. And I think that a lot of content creators, over time, will eventually get exposed. They will eventually have somebody say that this person said this thing that was bad behind closed doors. Hassan has been in the space for about as long as I am, you know, give or take. And in the same way that I say, look at me, look at the amount of bad interactions I've had with other people, other Twitter bloggers, people have had, etc. On a personal level, I'm not talking about his viewpoints and his politics. I'm talking about on a personal level how he interacts with other people. I don't think that Hassan is a bad person. I do not think that.
Healing power.
I just wish he wouldn't act this way. It's unnecessary. He does not have to deal with it.
Again!
That's my view. I know that you guys might not see it the way that I do, but my perspective on this is probably a little bit different because the way that I see it is through the lens of content creator. And so I'm contrasting this with other content creators.
I require some aid.
Does that make sense? Most now streams, audience, boy, and off audience, be sure we all know it. Sure. Right, well, I'm just saying, like, in terms of personal, like, interpersonal problems. That's something that that's something that I have a very, one thing that I've done
By the
is
eye
that
of Agamotto!
everywhere they go. I wonder why.
We are in
So,
this
yeah.
together.
All I'm saying is that I don't need to criticize a person's opinion and then turn that into a personal attack. There's no need for me to do that. It's unnecessary. It's destructive. It's not productive, and I think it's off message. I try to stay on message as much as I can. I think that I make mistakes. Everybody does, but you're gonna keep making mistakes.
We are undefeatable against the world.
So that's it. You can stop and use this to switch the word. You can say whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Like it's still that's still what I think.
To do.
Just got brought in as the people in the times is different. Well, I'm talking about like, and I don't know. Like I think people just get on the internet and they just say things. They get gassed up by their fucking audience and they just say stupid stuff. Like I understand that people might not like that answer, and it doesn't. I'm not hand waving it and saying it's okay, but I'm not taking it seriously because I think that's the way that people do. I think Frogan is like that, for example. I don't think Frogan is a horrible person. I just think that she gets in her fucking room, sitting there getting gassed up by her 60 or 50 or 100 viewers, and it just turns people into the worst versions of themselves. That's what I think. I genuinely believe that. I think that most people can generally get along. And whenever you sit inside of an echo chamber of people that tell you that you're right about everything and you never listen to anybody else's perspective, all of your friends are exactly the same, everybody says the same things that you do, I think that's a radicalizing force and it makes people more extreme. But that's not a default. And I think that you can move people away from that
I've
default
watched
very quickly.
entire realities consumed by chaos.
30 seconds before you
That's a nice
attack.
clip.
Get
Is there
ready.
another one? I don't know if there's another one. Come out against me.
I know you, Lindy.
Is it another one against me?
What's up?
This
I
is
just
the
never
same thing that
expected this whole
I
time
can
stream mess to
guarantee
spill
you
over into
already. This
Well,
is
you know I've got your
absolutely
back, whether
every
it's at
single
home
thing that
or
he's
out
going
on
to say
tour.
about me. People are also going to
You
say about
always
him.
help me keep cool under pressure.
And you know what?
The battle starts in
They're
5.
all right.
4.
They're right when they say it about me,
2,
and they're right
1.
when they say it about you.
All you need to do is capture the mission area.
Let's
Got
listen
it?
and find out.
There are threats ahead.
Zach is always copying your language, always using the words in the wrong places, but it won't matter until someone like a big streamer said, take 1 minute to go and undermine the streamer right now, and 10x more people would nip it in the bud than the few starting it. Every smear has a potential to slow down or stagger progression. What do you mean? Yeah, no big streamer is ever going to come out and be like, these sorts of things. I'm gonna tell you exactly why that.
This is going to be the exact reason why people don't criticize him, by the way. Ready?
I think you already know. Because every fucking big streamer who actually opposes his worldview are utterly fucking terrified of his audience. Okay? That's it. They're 100% terrified of his audience because his fan base does not have any fucking, they don't have any restraint. They real.
You didn't have to do this to yourself.
That's fair.
Follow me. My DMs are full of people who
You didn't have to do this. Why would you do this?
calling me after heard as an insult, saying that I
Why would you do this?
some assistance, please. Yeah, it's crazy that I called out Hassan for
And
My
she's
work here
obviously
is not
talking
done.
about me, by the way. She's obviously talking about probably me and Ethan. And maybe also Baldy.
tourism and misogyny
Tectone.
and being basically a passport bro. And I've got people calling me like
My friends are
conservative in
here!
my DMs and just saying I'm spreading these things. Just the face of the left. Because Hassan fans straight up got demonetized. This is
That's
from someone that used to be subbed to Hassan. I was giving that millionaire money because I was an idiot. So, yeah, maybe it's
Chaos
split
control.
with the threats
just showed up.
because I don't really
I
think that's
suck.
helping with this whole
Super enough.
And for the most part, Hassan is not necessarily responsible for what is on unless he's telling them to do this. This is an outcome of having a community built around talking about extremely volatile, extremely serious issues.
Maximum
And the reason is because I don't want people to blame me. Because anything you can say about him, you can say about me too. This is the thing, is that he's right about this, but this is the pot calling the kettle black. This is the same thing.
The area's almost yours!
Because his fan base does not have any fucking, they don't have any restraint. They realize you can just like go after anyone and everyone and smear them, constantly yell.
An example of this not happening was recently was with Greg.
4 in a row!
I was not rude to her at all. I'm sure that there were people in my audience that were rude, and I find that to be disappointing. And if I find out that they were doing that in a way that was ungentlemanly, you might end up getting permabanned because it's just it's not something that I want to see people do.
Endless possibilities,
But
only if it survives this chaos.
I think that's a good example right off the bat. Like, I mean, that was literally a few days ago. I don't take it personally at all.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
in their chats, go to every other chat
I've never seen a
and,
cheese so
and
perfectly
demand
aligned
that
to
the
our
other streamers talk about this this new victim in the crosshairs.
When you start to
You
lose
know,
focus,
so that is the
what
reason.
do you do to recalibrate?
I did
That is
this.
the reason why no one will actually
that doesn't
come
work,
out and
I
oppose
watch
any of his viewpoints, even if they quietly oppose it.
The battle starts in 5,
That's the same
4,
thing with him.
3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
And it's not just Asmongold, to
Part
be
of me
fair.
just wants to get back home,
It's not just
but I know
Asmongold
I
at all.
need it here.
There are plenty of other, like there's a bunch of kick streamers that do the same shit too. It just doesn't really matter. And I mean, look, I'm one of the very few people out there who doesn't oppose a lot of streamers and do fuck shit.
And that's good. I think that's totally fine. I don't have a single problem with Hassan giving his take, giving his opinion, and disagreeing with what I'm saying or what anybody else is saying. I think that's his right, and I think that's a good thing. And it's important to have people that disagree with you in spaces, so that way it keeps you sharp as well.
Capture the mission area!
I don't have a problem with people disagreeing with me at all.
That's better.
And look how much I eat it on a daily fucking basis.
That has not gone out and like hyper-condemned Hassan for the fucking dog thing. I haven't. And if you go back through all the VODs and everything, I have never gone out and like gone and been like, oh, he's such a horrible person. I can't do his friends. I never have done that. Now I've laughed at the jokes and I've covered the controversy, but I've never really condemned him. And the reason why is because I don't really know what's going on. I'm not 100% sure, and I don't want to do
You
that.
need to teach me that spell, Stephen.
Essentially, betrays me, that's the opposite. No, it's okay. It's not a big deal. But I do farm people. I do absolutely do that. I'm sure he might be a little bit upset about the dog stuff. And listen, if he can go back to what I said, now I even predicted what was going to happen to him before he went live the first day of this controversy. I said that it would not matter what he did and what he said, people would have already made up their mind.
Right. Captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
I mean, it sure seems like this is
Double KO.
They did. They had already made up their mind. It didn't matter what he had shown on that stream. It would have still been something. So, yeah, and he's got. I mean, some of the clips do definitely look bad now, right? But at the time, I didn't know them, and nobody knew them. So he's made up his mind about Tecton allegations. I mean, I obviously know more about it, right? It's about this example. Is he trying to persuade people to make up other shit? Well, yeah, I don't know about that.
Maximum!
And I don't care about the dog. It's so forced to effort to meet the dog and shot callers used regularly for dog training. I think that what people really don't like, I mean, I don't know, like, I mean, I don't want to get into, like, all of them. I'm not a big moralizer.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
I'm not a big moralizer. It's not the... It's not... I'm just not. Sorry, I'm not a big guy like that. Now, if you want to do that, that's totally fine, but it's just not my that's not my personality.
Epic victory! Big win!
There's so many maggot being deleted. I don't know if it's people attacking you or talking about Hassan. Either way, doesn't mind. Well, it's not that big of a deal, right? You think it would have been better if you just admitted shocking a dog and say meant to press the vibrate, not the shock? I don't know. I mean, like, I think you should. I mean, I don't know what happened, so it's impossible to know. So it's YouTube comments. Oh yeah, a lot of people are spamming about YouTube, etc. But yeah, that's at least the way I feel about it. Just being a little bit stupid about not seeing your point as a content creator. That's okay. I mean, it's a unique perspective that I think that only I and a few of other people would have. I can't. All I can do is express how I think. I can't tell other people.
Born again!
So that's it. Healing power. And so, like, I don't really try to worry about it or get upset about it or fight about it or anything like that. It's just really not a big deal. You guys have some big streamers are afraid of your audience. Oh yeah, I just got done watching it. I think it's partially true. I think that obviously a lot of people don't want to come out and say negative things about me because a lot of people in my audience will be mean to them. And I think that also a lot of people view disagreement as harassment. Like, for example, whenever I disagree with a person and somebody else disagrees with you, that's not necessarily harassment. Somebody telling you that you're wrong and you don't know what you're talking about isn't really harassment. It's just simply people talking about stuff for whatever reason. That's it. You'd be okay for not wanting to moralize or high ground over things, even over Hassan? Yeah, well, no, I mean, it's not that I don't like moralizing over things in general. And the reason why is that I think that I do have a very strong moral compass. It just doesn't necessarily point north. Maybe northeast, maybe northwest, maybe even west, maybe even east. But it definitely doesn't point directly north. Like my perspective on these things is a little bit off, right? And I'm yeah, not south. I didn't say south, okay? But not all the time. But yeah. And that's the reason why is I don't necessarily think that I'm a very good moral authority for certain things. Like my moral foundation for things is a bit, I think kind of off in some cases. But I think that it being off also gives me insight in ways that other people that are on don't have. So I think I'm just different, right, in a way. And this isn't like I'm not like everybody else. I'm like, it's like an anime thing. But like I think that the way that I think is different than other people, and there's positives and negatives to that, right? And so yeah. Dude, is this video real? Like, what the hell? 39 stores are leaving New York City for theft?
Suspects in a drugstore burglary. They say these suspects were involved in 8 different incidents where they tried to break into pharmacies.
How is that for a trick, Yoshi? You're not going anywhere.
Great, just what we need. A new robbery pattern targets pharmacies in New York, many of which are having problems staying open. With Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid closing a combined 40 locations in 2024 alone, leaving New York with about half the number of pharmacies it had just 10 years ago. Before our leaders thought it would be a good idea to stop sending thieves to jail where they belong.
We've spoken to several managers at various drugstores around New York City. Though none would go on camera, all tell us they've seen an increase in thefts.
Millions of dollars.
I wonder why they won't go on camera.
This was inevitable.
And they view it's like I think that there's like a difference between somebody stealing like and somebody stealing like fake eyelashes. I do. I think it's totally different, right? Like cosmetics, yeah. What is this? A TV? Yeah. No, what about piracy? Piracy isn't good, but there's no zero-sum.
Embrace the chaos.
I don't know. Gladiator, and it wouldn't affect anybody's copy of Gladiator. So it's a totally different situation. Piracy is totally different.
You need to teach me that spell, Steven.
Cosmetics, beauty products, designer clothing,
Yeah, we're not talking about stealing like milk and diapers, baby
The
formula.
shoplifting concerns are part of a growing trend in the city, but due to current laws, many of those arrested were released back on the streets to do it again.
This man just
I
came
love
in,
how,
grabbed
like-
a whole bunch of makeup.
I love how they have catch and release. You know, the only other time I've ever heard of the word catch and release or the term is with fishing. Like these people, they think they're fucking sardines or something. Yeah, what is this?
Stuff that was on the side and just ran out. Security tried to stop him, but he was already gone.
Raphael and Sean Martez have been getting their prescriptions filled at
The
this
right
Walgreens
heroes
for
could
at
make
least
all
a
the
year.
difference.
They believe shoplifting played
You
a
don't
role
have
in
to
the
be a
store's
witch
closure.
to find the
They had
magic
locked up
in
because
this
sometimes
world.
they get boosters
But it
that
does
come in
help.
there and steal their
Yeah.
stuff.
I don't know if they're stealing it
Booster.
from here or stealing from another place to sell it.
Booster, big surprise. It's just people that steal shit.
Here, these plexiglass screens and all these other inconveniences creates additional friction, and friction is the death of retail.
And it's like nothing is being done.
Do you feel like it's getting bolder?
Yes, it's definitely getting bolder.
To me, I would say that having to speak to an employee to get something out of a shelf is a huge deterrent for me wanting to shop at that store.
I've watched entire
I
realities
honestly, the
consumed
reason
by
why I
chaos.
don't
coming in
shop
30
at a lot of
seconds.
people,
Stay
I just
strong.
want to go to the store and I want to get something, and it's really annoying. It wastes my time. It's inconvenient. I don't want to interact with anybody. That's it. So American? Really? I mean, I don't know. I feel like, and I think also there's like the component of it where there's like an implicit expectation that you're a thief. And so I think that
The
people
battle
don't
starts
like,
in
maybe I'm the only person that feels
4,
this way.
3,
I think
2,
people don't like
1.
that you're like
You know what to do,
pre-categorized as a person
Here
who would have
comes
been
trouble.
basically.
You're not going anywhere.
Disappeared over the last decade as retail theft continues running rampant.
But what no one wants to get all of these parts all at once.
To get tough on shoplifting, a promise many businesses are still waiting for them to keep.
I
And
wonder
sadly,
why.
if you walk through any pharmacy in town, you'll be greeted with all the signs that the high crime environment afflicting our stores is here to stay. Good locations.
The moon haunts you!
I got told that story about
That's a weak human eyes. You're out there going, because here we won't lock up our life. Because stealing here can be criminalized, making you just what we need.
Better stop that vehicle.
Somewhere, perpetually funding illegal retail arbitrage businesses that will exist as long as shoplifting here remains a non.
It's also a good point is that when resell it, that also takes away
I won't
like
make-
effectively 2 sales
Be
from
right
the
back.
company. Because like if you buy it from somebody who stole it,
This
well,
is
not
real
only does the
firepower!
person take
Take
it
it,
away
check
from
that.
you, you also
Might be
didn't
a good
secure
time to
another
stop
sale
them.
as well. It's really bad.
Scalable misdemeanor, provided it's peaceful shoplifting that doesn't escalate to a physical altercation.
By the eye of Agamotto!
Supervisor leaders are security barriers or cutting security tags counts as violent behavior. And that brings us
The moon!
We are undefeatable.
Behavior. Anytime that you destroy your ultra property
So it
in a way
begins.
that's malicious, it's obviously violence. Like I would say that like I mean, don't you define violence by like it's basically malicious physical action, right? Yeah. Behavior involving physical force to hurt someone or kill someone or something. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Not an object? No, it's a thing. Yeah. I mean that's malicious, right? So I don't know what else.
How you shoot!
alternatives to get things like prescription medication
Yeah.
or everyday basic items. Many of these businesses were already
The end has
struggling
come.
for a variety of
Just for
reasons,
you.
and as retail theft continues to creep up, it arose whatever stores margins, leaving them no choice but to shut down. Something Walgreens alone did 22 times last year, leaving it with just 189 locations left in New
Eating
York.
strong
However,
the
as you're
only
about
thing
to see,
that's left
retail
is
theft
water.
isn't just a problem.
Like if you go back and you look at it, like it's just water. People still love the sodas. Maybe people don't like cranberry juice.
This is real firepower!
This was inevitable.
Living for every new order, people are buying everything online. Places like Amazon revealing that
that may be different. They are interpreting it as they are the ones that are inventing what the law says.
It should be.
You can't make an argument to authority when you're the one that's the authority.
The moon haunts you!
Whoever they are, we are undefeatable!
Damn, we are this far? So they don't even have it locked up. They have a printing. Oh my god.
This is real firepower!
I've never seen something this fucking ratchet before. This is amazing.
Enjoy the amplifier!
Not only is it locked up, but it's only a picture of it that's locked up.
Wow. Yeah, it's an NFT, yeah.
You're right. So you don't show the picture. But on top of all this in-store security, you don't want to see something else. A blinking camera of your
When I said no,
it's meant to scare criminals into thinking the police could be inside, or at least
what are these weird cables? Been removed from play.
because our stores are still
Who's next? You're not going anywhere. That's
This is real firepower! The moon haunts you!
We are undefeatable!
You're welcome!
Nah, you can't shoot people like that. I mean, maybe the sword can, but yeah, that's it.
Hey, enjoy the amplifier!
feeling stronger already.
I think that there's another
Armed and dangerous!
Tail ends here.
Oh, well, it's because people
The moon haunts you!
get targeted by this more often. I think in poor areas, like, you're going to have more theft. I think that just makes sense. If there's more minorities there, then yeah, that would be true. But when you have more theft and you don't have it, like, controlled, it hurts all of those people. Like, those are like the entire minority group that those thieves are a part of are all negatively affected by it. And it's kind of like what I was saying before about how it's like performative empathy, where it's like, oh, well, we're trying to help, you know, these minorities. We don't want to have them be unfairly targeted by police. But what I don't think they realize is that by not giving these people these ability to like their own story, they
This is real firepower!
I think there are definitely cases where police officers are racist and interactions happen with a person that is non-white or a white person. It could be a racist black officer towards a white person too. But like, I think I'm sure it happens, but it's not like you can't base everything off of that. These people care about their own community. They care about the effects. Well, what a lot of it is, I think, is that these people don't care about many of the people that are the biggest proponents of allowing people to steal things out of stores don't live in places where people are stealing things out of stores, unless they're the ones that are doing the stealing. So in a lot of cases, what happens is that it's these, you know, in general, like ivory tower, upper middle class, gated community people that are trying to dictate to these lower working class people.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
You don't have to be a witch to find the magic in this world, but it does help.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Back at it again for one of these videos. Sorry, I'm just a little bit bored, and you see me on Twitter. I'm pretty damn invested in this. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I have never been as invested in what is happening right now on social media, on Twitter, on Twitch, I mean, fuck, it's even on YouTube. This might just be one of the biggest cover-ups of all time in Twitch history.
Chaos
And it's happening in
surrounds us.
real time,
30
in
seconds
front of
before you
all of
attack.
us.
Get ready.
And the
don't have
worst
to
thing
be a
is,
witch to
while
find
it's
the
happening
magic in
on
this
camera,
world.
with
But it
our
does help.
eyes that we can see, they're telling us
I will bring peace
what
to
you're seeing with your eyes.
I will leave this universe a better place than it was before I was created.
Go watch one of my previous videos. This video isn't
Then again,
about
The battle starts in
Hassan
5,
This
4,
video is about
3, 2,
how people bend
1.
the knee to
All
this
you need to
man
do is
and
capture the mission
all
area.
those involved.
Got it?
And it's been about 7 to 8 years. Now, this started off as a simple Hassan has abused his dog. Wants him to apologize and he's going to correct his ways, using e-collar properly, because there is a proper way to use them. He's not using it properly, and like before. But the lies began, that he was telling us it wasn't a e-collar, and the kayak hurt his paw, and then all of a sudden the button was pressing for a mute code, and then he wasn't grabbing the remote, he was grabbing his in, and then there is no e-collar, and then there is an e-collar, and then there's a collar that only vibrates, and it just got more and more convoluted, and then you would think that the lies would stop with Hassan, but then streamer after streamer after streamer after streamer comes down. And defensively, now, first of all, there's Valkyrie. Obviously, that's Hassan's girlfriend, so I don't blame her for trying to protect her boyfriend. But at the same time, it's like, we're going to do this shit so blatantly. And then Valkyrie defends her boyfriend, and then Asmongold goes to help Valkyrie traverse the issue, and then she throws Asmongold under the bus, and then she says that she apologizes for talking to Asmongold, and she wasn't aware of his ability to use, and then there's a clip before she apologized saying that she was aware of his ability to use, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? It's like everybody on this fucking platform is lying. And at a certain point in my career, I've been doing this for 7 years. I dealt with previous community fulfilled with blockers, and at a certain point you always think that you know. It was the bad times part, but it was born again!
Clearly you needed some help. Thanks for the shoot. A nice deep freeze.
Valkyrie saying that, oh, I know the dog, the dog so well, and so spoiled baby, and then it's like,
cosmic might return.
Hassan told his dog spoiled because he wanted to get a drink of water.
Anyone willing to help?
Then you see this video of Hassan raising his dog with another dog that's irritated and putting them in a confined space, to where he's encouraging the other dog to attack his dog and laughing.
Clearly you needed
Like he's like the penguin from Batman.
Force field, good to go.
And then they're telling you, no, your eyes, they just don't work. That's how it is. And then it goes even deeper. Then there's the collar, and he won't show it the first time. And, 24 hours later, he removes it, said this collar only has the capacity to vibrate. And so for some reason, people believe that lie.
There's still
and then
so much
obviously
to do.
the Reddit detectives debunked that in 30 minutes. They showed this was the collar that had the electrical prongs, but it was removed, and then they enhanced the fucking scaling, and we find the black tape, and then we understand that Hassan took off the prongs and taped it over, and then streamers like Carolyn Kwan came out and played defense for us, saying, oh no, the collar had no electrical capacity. Then you have QT Cinderella, who slipped up and said it was an electrical collar. Prongs were removed, and it was taped over like we all saw on Twitch. And then they told QT because QT's upset about holy fuck. Can I like replay unemployed and care about this? Like, because FaZe, who then goes to call QT and apologize because he accidentally told the truth and exposed Hassan for misproperly and abusing a fucking dog, and then FaZe Clan says, we stand with you, QT, But QT's standing on the side of trying to cover up an animal getting abused. Like, do we just treat dogs right? I mean, holy fuck. Like, listen, I get it. We all have bad moments with our pets. I even yelled at a cat before when I was playing Elden Ring, and I feel bad about that shit every day.
Locked onto an enemy.
But, like, to see people keeping your dog near their stream so they can see more relatable, keeping a shock collar on them for 8 hours a day, zapping them whenever they want to. More or less born again! Clip after clip of the collar itself. We can see the electoral collar. We see the cover-up. We see him trying to fight. We see him fucking use it. And now there's like 14 different creatures all covering for the sun.
Us against the world!
These people care more about securing their clout in the industry than they do about helping all this fucking stuff. These people, I don't really think we're asking for too much. And sorry, I get very intense about how much I love animals. I'm a guy where I have 3 cats and I have a dog. At this point, I've had 7 dogs. I used to live with my brother who had 3 dogs. And the thing about animals' lives are, they don't live as long. Their whole lives are just a chapter in ours, but it's their whole book. And knowing where they're just living a sad, unfulfilled life, doing nothing but trying to make Hassan seem more human, when we all know, let's just be real, if we were to pull off a skin suit and be a lizard underneath, nobody here would really be surprised. And the worst thing is, let's just say it's not about the dog. This is a guy who's called for the death of the senator. This is a guy who's encouraged his audience to go out and kill people. This is a guy who showed off what appeared to be a gun, threatened a viewer's life alive, and then doused him. This is a guy who's terrorist attack. This is a fucking guy who's blatantly slandered so many content creators for believing born again! And today is the day. Well, obviously you guys have all known that magically how to pick up the streaming cable, but to the left of the corruption is on the plate. And then they tell you like people like me are the They tell you people as well. They tell you people are and the worst thing is all of the people Hassan and Hassan himself are considered the good guys, while we sit here and we're deemed the brand risk,
mutant
the
or
bad
human.
guys,
I
the
fight
Nazis.
for everyone.
Get that
What the
vehicle
fuck?
moving again!
And the worst thing is, it's working. People are moving on. People have lost steam. I've lost over 2,500 accounts on Twitter, and yet even still, I see people saying, move on, move on, move on. Delusional, bros obsessed, you're wrong, Hassan debunked it, and it's like, no, that's
Your powers are mine!
we bring them
Us against the world!
after proof, after proof. They deny it, and they slander all of these other folks.
A nice deep
It's
party time!
that are one, greatly exaggerated, or two, never happened. And everyone believes that the world is one. What started off as a Hassan is a apology, swears that he's a dog better. Maybe not use the dog has now turned into a coordinated coverage in which is Hassan's like a fucking mafia. He's like the religious. Has anybody heard from London? Is he dead? Has Hassan shocked him enough where he can breathe now? I can't believe that this will soon blow over if it hasn't already blown. And nothing will happen again. Because they are telling me that your eyes are lying to you. And they want to move on so bad. And the worst thing is, people
You
will.
can't strike down a goddess.
scary as fuck times right now, guys. Scary as fuck times.
Any healing is good healing. Bogies are coming.
Charlie is getting sued.
Title's not clickbait. For the first time ever, I have been served some hefty legal paper.
Wow.
And it's not, there isn't anything ceremonious about it. It's not like any of the crazy stories you might have heard about people being served where like someone Magneto and a secret agent that's with a disguise where they have some kind of silicone mask with your mother's face on it, so you open the door and bang, the paperwork served you or anything. There's nothing like that. Just a normal, unassuming, albeit very large envelope in the mail. Now, it's not a full-blown lawsuit or anything at the moment. It is some demands because there are 2 YouTubers that believe I have stepped up.
Fuck, are you kidding me? Ah, all right, let's hear it.
On their footsies and infringed on their copyright. They are Reed Timmer and Brad Arnold. Now, I initially reached out to both of them because the language in this paperwork is very fishy. I'll get into that more in a moment, but I wanted to
I don't even know
talk
who they
directly with them to see if this is like a scam or something.
Yeah,
like I wanted
smart.
to make sure this was
Who?
like
Yeah,
a
exactly.
legitimate thing before I got my lawyers on this.
Sure.
They haven't responded, so I'm guessing this is probably legitimate. Like, this is probably something they are actually trying to go through with, though I do know that there are a lot of law firms now that are trying to encroach into space to convince YouTubers to go through copyright law to try and make money.
Yeah.
That is something that a bunch of firms have reached out to Matt about to do on my behalf, which is unhinged why any firm would think I would ever do something like that, but it is somewhat normal in the space right now. So
yeah, it is.
I think there is a chance that maybe that's what's happening here and they don't know that, but since they didn't respond, I can't say for sure. So as of now, it feels legitimate, so I will be getting my lawyers on this, obviously, to be going through the next steps of this now most likely very long procedure. But let's go ahead and talk about
why are you getting sued?
What the claim is.
Yeah, what is this?
So last year, during Hurricane Milton, I did a stream in the middle of Hurricane Milton. I'm in Tampa, and Hurricane Milton came through to spread our cheeks. I was streaming during it. While streaming, I would check like weather updates or like some streams to see the progress of Milton and what's going on in the area. Now I think all of you know this, I don't do React content anymore, so if there's ever any like content or footage on my stream, it's very brief, and the only things I usually watch are game trailers, movie trailers, or news footage, like news broadcast, publicly available news. So for the hurricane, I thought it would be a-okay to show very brief clips of what was happening with Milton so I can stay up to date, as well as I can share with you that, like, what's going on, are you safe, what's happening. And one of the streams I pulled up was a Ryan Hall stream where he was showing a bunch of footage of Hurricane Milton, and one of the footage snippets, like one of the contributors was Brad Arnold. You can see his footage there as one of the, on the scene, boots on the ground, reporters there. And I had that section there, that footage that included Brad Arnold's work there on my stream for less than 30 seconds. Unless I missed another instance of it somewhere, it was present for less than 30 seconds. Though I did pause at one point, so if you count the pausing with the image of the footage there, it's a little longer, but
Yeah.
I can't imagine a still image counts. If it does, then no pussy is safe. That is just the fully Pandora's box wide open here. Even this video would be in jeopardy then, because I did just show you a screenshot of that stream that had a still image from Brad Arnold on the scene world. But it's just a picture, it's not moving or anything, and it's like, I have it here for 5 seconds. I guess we'll see. I think that would be really scary if that is now completely prohibited in a potential
It is a potential copyright violation. Like anytime you're using somebody else's content, there is a technical copyright violation. And you prove fair use in the court of law. So what happens is that you use somebody else's content, they say don't use the content, or they file a lawsuit against you, and then you have to go to court to decide whether it is whether it's fair use or not. So really the courts decide whether something is fair use. It's not like there's like
very, very scary.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, that's the extent of Brad Arnold's footage that entered into the Thunderdome of my hour-and-a-half-long Hurricane Milton stream. So, less than 30 seconds. I don't think that's an extensive period of time there, but I'll go ahead and let bygones be bygones on that and move on to Reed Timmer. Reed Timmer and Brad Arnold are both being represented by this firm, so it's a tag team here, a dynamic duo in this double fist in my butthole. Reed Timmer was on my stream for, I wrote these down because it was a couple times. 28 seconds the first time, where I showed some of Reed Timmer's, once again, on the scene.
Okay.
It was 28 seconds to see what was going on. And then
that's bad. Oh, wow.
I should really check out his tank. He built like this really cool tank, and they really wanted me to see Reed Timmer's tank.
Yeah, no
so
doubt.
I went to his video that showed his tank, and I had that on screen in total for 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Yes.
I then skipped towards like more of the middle of the video to see the rockets, because everyone wanted me to see like the rockets he has on his tank. So I went there, and that was on screen for 25 seconds total.
Yeah.
And then I just paused it, and I just had it as a still image there, so it was there for a bit longer as a still image, not the video playing or anything like that.
Yeah.
So in total, less than 2 minutes was Reed Timmer's footage across 2 pieces of his content. One being a live stream, and the other being the tank that his fans really came and wanted me to see. Maybe that was an elaborate ruse, a big lead from the Reed Timmer.
I think this has definitely been like with a lot of I've always said that on YouTube doesn't have 10 commandments, it has 1 commandment, and thou shalt not file copyright strikes. In general, I think that this has been the way that a lot of people on YouTube see things, is that if you don't want people reacting to your content or doing something like that, it's completely justified and totally okay. But I think that just telling them and then asking them to delete it or sending a takedown request, because there's multiple different ways that you can handle this, right? Like you can use, you can just simply send a takedown request, you can try to contact the individual, or you could do anything else, right? Up the throat. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna take the proof, maybe. And so you don't have to file a lawsuit. You can just simply tell the person, hey, take this down or don't watch my content, etc. And there have been people in the past with me, for example. I mean, obviously I do have content, and they've said like, hey, could you wait a while to react to the video, or hey, could you, not watch my videos because I don't like it for whatever reason. And I always respect their wishes. It doesn't really matter what the reason is or what the purpose for it is, that it is. I always do it. And the reason why I do it is because I think that that's what they want, that's their content, and the only time that I don't follow that is if the content is fundamentally about me, right? So somebody makes a video that's critical of me or negative about me, and they're like, well, don't watch this video, well, too fucking bad, right? I'm gonna watch it anyway. But otherwise, I'm always going to do it. And so that's something that we've dealt with, on my perspective, multiple times, right? If somebody asks us, like, hey, could you take this down or not post this as early? We have it all the time. But I think that really whenever you're talking about like filing lawsuits and getting into legal disputes, I think that people are getting in a little bit over their head in a way that they might not necessarily understand. And I'm not necessarily talking about Reed or the other guy that's involved with this either, but I think in a general sense, whenever you really get down to actual broadcasting rights and the letter of the law, there are a lot of things that you're not necessarily able to do legally that people on YouTube do all the time. And if you know anything about copyright law or like broadcast recommendations, that's always the case. Yeah, Bloomberg on Gamers Nexus, exactly. Yeah, and so well, that's their decision that they can make, right? I think if you post something on the internet, you should expect to have people look at it and talk about it. And we try to do the best that we can, etc. And that's all you really can do. But the difference, I think, that with this is that, you don't really go through any of those just reasonable remedies of just talking to somebody, asking them to take it down, or even asking them, like, hey, could I at least get a cut of the money that's made using my content? Like, there's a lot of ways that you can approach this without filing a lawsuit. And whenever you are filing a lawsuit, like, you have to keep in mind that there's a huge amount of time, energy, and money that goes into doing it. And even if you win the lawsuit, you're probably not going to come out ahead in a lot of cases because, you're usually not going to settle for like $60 and you have wasted so many hours of your life advice on this, that, you know, really you would have been better off just making more content yourself. So that's my advice. Like, that's my opinion, and I think that just on YouTube in general, nobody likes seeing this happen. Because fundamentally, like, I think that people have a ideal of a free internet, right? They don't want to have, you know, the law be applied to every single different little tiny thing on the internet. I think that's why this is different, but it's also not completely different than why people push back so hard against, like, internet ID. Because they don't want to have the internet turn into real life in the same way. Don't you need to reach out to them before suing them? I have no idea. I don't think that you have to, but yeah.
Unity to get me in hot water with him.
You don't
And if
necessarily
this was a
have to.
galaxy brain chess maneuver, impressive work. I hadn't seen that line before. The fucking the Scotch Open got me good there. Like, it worked. The bait was successful.
Somebody asked, can you be sued for watching a video that includes the material that Charlie is getting sued for? That's the reason why this is Pandora's box. That's the exact reason why you do not want to go to court, because all of those questions are really, really complicated. Massive Omega Pandora's box. Slippery slope? Yeah.
Because now Reed Timmer is here in the squared circle with a copyright notice. And now let's talk about the actual paperwork here. As I said, the language feels very fishy to me.
Chaos
and the lawyer that I
surrounds
had
us,
glance
but
over
I
it
will
to
gladly
take a peek
30 seconds
also
before
found
you
it to be
attack.
really,
Get ready.
really weird. One of the first things that jumped
Big
out
surprise.
was
On the world
they
where I come
claim that I've used it
demons
in
run
multiple
rampant.
instances,
And
in
my
multiple
dimension,
locations.
don't have to be a
They say
witch
that
to
I unlicensed distributed their work in the following locations, and then it gives
Twitch
two
and YouTube,
links
right?
to a YouTube video. I said a YouTube video because they only have one
The
YouTube
battle
video
starts
there.
in
They
5,
list it twice.
4,
They do the same link
3,
twice,
2,
but then
1.
imply that I've done it multiple
All you need to do is
times
capture
in
the
multiple
mission area.
locations.
Yeah.
Got it?
So that's already weird. It's the Hurricane Milton stream. I am not familiar with Brad Arnold's work, nor Reed Timmer's. That was the only time I'd ever even heard of their names was during the Hurricane Milton stream I did from, well, Reed Timmer's community, and then also just from trying to stay knowledgeable on what the fuck is happening with the natural disasters that's hitting my home. Like, that's the only time I was ever even heard of their names before. And when I put on stream of theirs out there for such a small amount of time, I thought there'd be no issue there at all.
I don't think that there would be. I think if this goes to court, he's going to win this for sure. Like, you're showing a news broadcast for 30 seconds. Like, I mean...
Quantum magic.
It's not going to go anywhere. Like, everybody knows that.
The paperwork goes on to, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the exact amount, but it goes on to say that they
a lot, I'm
are
sure,
potentially entitled to many tens of thousands of dollars per prank.
Wow.
Makes a mention of damages that could get up to 6 figures. About me potentially posting their content on all of my other socials and my other websites. Which is obviously not anything that happened. It was only during that stream for like some 2 minutes.
Yeah.
At least from what I can tell on the stream. Maybe I missed something, but it's not a long period of time.
So they just made up bullshit in the legal files. They just said things that weren't true. Okay.
Cosmos heals you.
At all. But it's saying, or rather implying, that I may have been blasting it all over the place, thus they would be entitled to more money. And then it says things like, in order to comply, I would need to explain where and how I obtained their client's work to copyright. As if I had some kind of,
who knows? Nobody knows! Where
Against
can
the
it come
world.
from?
Quantum 11 style heist where I broke into Fort Knox to steal their copyrighted footage for myself and into the fucking Dragon Ball or something.
Yeah.
Which is really weird because what do you mean, how did I find this? Those were 2 absolutely massive streams during Hurricane Milton that were there to try and keep people informed on what was happening with Hurricane Milton. They had like fucking 100,000 viewers, and like they were huge, huge streams.
Exactly.
So I saw those streams, and I tuned in to see what was happening with Hurricane Milton for my own safety and to stay up to date on the progress of the hurricane. And the second part of that is absolutely mind-boggling about like where I and copy it. I didn't fucking copy it. I looked at it. I had my papers on it very briefly. I didn't steal their work or like, you know, fucking download it to a floppy disk, you know, don't copy that floppy type shit. Like I didn't copy
It's not gonna work though. Isn't it a newscast? They copy it from a news order? I don't know. And this is the thing. It's like I'm not familiar with what they're doing and like how they source footage and what they have rights to, etc. I have no idea. But what I do know is that doing this, especially with like the concentric circles of ownership, is opening Pandora's box in a massive way.
I looked at their stream for a very brief period of time during a hurricane that was hitting my house, just to see what was going on and stay knowledgeable. Also, to show chat, stream what was going on in the area. I'm not exactly equipped to show it myself by just taking the camera and going outside during it. I get blown away. I'm fucking 5'6". That shit would ragdoll me. I don't have all the gadgetry and doodads to show it, so I look.
I don't think being tall helps. Like I'm 6'3", and I feel like I get blown away too because I'm skinny, right? I mean, it's like you ever see like a piece of grass? It's gone.
I have risen. A very small handful of seconds at the on-the-scene storm chasers and reporters just to stay up to date. I copy
bigger hitbox?
their work,
Yeah, exactly.
and I wasn't trying to steal their work and pretend like it was mine or make money off of their work. It is an hour and a half of stream continuing for a game of Milton, and their footage is present for less than 2 minutes at the end of the stream. Right. By the way, like Reed Timmer's section there is literally right before I went off. Born again!
I remember watching.
Pretty sure I got knocked out in that one. I don't even remember now. But like it's at the end of the stream. I feel like it's very odd if this is something Reed Timmer and Brad Arnold are legitimately pursuing. Or maybe this is all a huge misunderstanding, and they don't even know that I got served these papers. I'm hoping that's the case. I have no ill will towards Brad Arnold or Reed Timmer, one way or the other, I suppose. If they really feel like they have done something wrong with that, they are fully within their right to serve these. I'm patting real nicely. It is what it is. I wanted to keep you all in the loop here because this, if you follow Moose Critical Gaming, you probably will have seen the leak video I posted the other day where I was fuming. Well, this is my guy, and I was...
Yeah, so he's just mauling out because you just got fucking sued. Yeah, I get that.
I am born anew. That was an extremely frustrating day. Anyway, I wanted to just keep you all in the loop here on what's going on. That's really about it. See ya.
Well, that's certainly fucking weird. I'll say that for sure. I mean, I think this is a very problematic thing to do. Obviously, and apparently, and before I go any farther, I do want to say that apparently Reed Timmer, let me see if I can find this. Reed Timmer. Is this the guy right here? I'm not sure if this is the guy or not. Yeah, this has got to be the guy. As part of a campaign against content theft on social media, it has come to my attention that a popular streamer named Charlie or Moist Critical was included in the latest wave of stolen content from our hurricane streams last year. I don't know if Charlie, I don't know Charlie or even that this happened. It sounds like he broadcast 30 seconds of our live stream for the purpose of letting people know that what was happening. I'm fine with this instance of rebroadcast by Charlie Penguin. And will remove myself from any content lawsuit against Charlie next time, just ask for permission and I can clear it. We do have to push back against content theft in general in social media space, much of which is what happens from traditional media, since it makes it impossible to cover our science budget and expenses with the unoriginal content flags that result from stolen content that is rebroadcast. And you have to understand that, you know, this component right here is really important in understanding what this problem is that on YouTube, this is the reason why I made an official channel. It's because before that, I just let all of my different guys that, you know, uploaded my videos, I let them just post whatever the hell they wanted. But the problem is that when you have other people that are reposting your stuff verbatim, what ends up happening is that you get hit with a duplicate content ID, and then your video gets taken down, even if you were the one that had the video. So what he's saying is there's traditional media that's re-uploading this content with effectively no coverage, or sorry, no react to it. There's no innovation. There's no transformation to this content. They're just re-uploading it. Uploading it in such a raw state, it's actually being caught by the algorithm that detects duplicate content, and then it's now it's now the sorry, I drew a blank. I was thinking about something else. Now it's being demonetized. Excuse me. Yeah, now it gets demonetized. And that it happens at the beginning, and so that's whenever the video makes the most the most money and gets the most views. I would just like to have it stay in my basement and straight radar breakdown. If we all let media steal and rebroadcast their content for profit. Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, you can't have people that are directly rebroadcasting it. I mean, I think nobody supports that really, except for like a handful of people. I'm a lifelong break-even person financially. I may be a little lost, and this is not my greed. It's something that I make back to this form-chasing science. Born again! Disaster relief. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Okay, so then this is okay, robot, and you don't know who's you. So you don't know who's being sued. Other things you're going to be are going to be sued for the same thing or something else. Here you're breaking even. This lawsuit sends out the valid. Even if they win, they can through. Many of them media companies or channel names, I don't know, Charlie. I think that's also what's happening too. So you're actually suing everyone and everything. You're also that even if Charlie doesn't want to countersues you. I don't know if this is really worth anybody. As I said, getting involved with copyright disputes on the internet, on YouTube, is a huge fucking mistake. Because, like, for example, let me give you just a very, very just, like, basic example. If I play a video game, the developer can tell me that I can't play that video game and DMCA me playing that game. They can. And so they can shut it down. It's a losing battle. Yeah, well, what I'm saying is that everybody will lose if they make copyright laws and lawsuits that happen. Everybody will lose. Nintendo did do that. They did that for a long time, and if you weren't part of the Nintendo Creator Program, you weren't able to upload content onto YouTube. So seeing this happen again, I think it's really quite obvious. If you don't know if you're a plaintiff in a lawsuit, then maybe you are a plaintiff in too many lawsuits, just a thought to ponder. I do, but they often do it under company names. 30 seconds of weather reaction is content theft. Have you ever heard of fair use? Well, that's why he's taking him out of the lawsuit. This girl wasn't listening at all. Let's see here. This isn't a crossover I expected. And some of y'all need to have permission to use the video like it's his. This is etiquette by a boomer. I think that if you're posting your content online, you should expect to have people react to it. I think that you're giving people permission. That's my opinion. Obviously, that's not the legal opinion. That's not legally accurate, but that's my viewpoint on it. Is that if you're posting this in the public space, then you should expect to have other people react to it. I think that's very obvious that, you know, reacting to something and then completely just using it as a market replacement for that thing, and then not changing it, transforming it, reacting to it at all, just re-uploading it is obviously a bad thing. But other than that, I don't really see it as being too big of an issue, right? And so legal doesn't always mean right. Yeah, of course, right? And so that's really it. It seems like this lawsuit was a bit of a misunderstanding. Now, people that don't trust somebody with greed are going to say that the reason why he's saying it's a misunderstanding is because now he's getting negative publicity for it. So I don't think him saying this will necessarily really help him. I think people will still just assume that he's lying and, you know, he's an asshole. But in a general sense, I do kind of, I do think things like this happen sometimes. And I think that the problem that they're bringing up is a legitimate problem. Don't mean it's a bad way, but have you ever served anyone for stealing your content? Have I ever served anyone? I don't really engage with or do anything like legal at all. I don't think that's really a good idea. I think it's very risky to do, and I would not do it at all. I mean, like maybe, I can't say never. I can't say never, but I can say that I've never had to and I would never want to. So yeah, it's just that simple. And Reed's a good man. Sad people will think about him like this. Well, I mean, you have to be, I mean, to be fair, it is a fair criticism that you have people that are going around filing lawsuits, and they don't even know who the people that they're filing lawsuits against are. Like, I mean, that's a fair criticism. Like, I'm not hating on Reed either, but like, yeah, that's a problem. Like, if you don't even know who you're suing, and you're like, oh, I accidentally sued this person that I didn't mean to, that's a pretty big fuck up, isn't it? So, yeah, I mean, and it doesn't mean he's a horrible person or he's such a bad guy or anything like that. But at the same time, it's a fuck up. It's an absolute fuck up. So, yeah, it's that simple. But not just lawsuits, but frivolous lawsuits. Yeah, Ethan's a great example of that. 6 people reacted to the content note, but only 3 did it maliciously, and that's why he's suing them. Yeah, I think that you have to really talk about people that are maliciously doing it and maliciously uploading versus people that are just reacting and talking about a topic, right? That's really all there is to it. So yeah, business runner is usually the ones doing the deed. Well, I mean, he was the one named in the lawsuit, right? He's claiming 20 million views were stolen, but you never even posted that many views. Moist had not watched your stream. Well, 20 billion, I don't know where he's getting that number. I have no idea. But anyway, I'll be right back, and then we'll look at this, okay? And
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready. Peter Quill.
Call me Star.
I feel bad for this
I
guy
am Groot, I am
because it
Groot.
doesn't matter how good of a job he does as Geralt. He's
I am Groot.
People have already decided
I am
that he's
Groot.
wrong, and it's the main character. I think that's the difference.
The battle starts in
His
5,
agent should be fired. He should have never accepted
3,
the role.
2,
I'm gonna be real. I kind of think that you're right.
Reading through over 1 million practitioners with common sense and the 40%
Even my cosmic might
Henry
may
Cavill
not be
is
enough to
probably
save this universe.
And it's not just because James Gunn's Superman or Superman's James Gunn finished its worldwide theatrical
I hope
run
you
at
could not feel their
$615
pain
million,
and madness.
which the last time I checked was not back. It's a lot less than the $668 million brought in by the Man of Steel in its worldwide theatrical run over 10 years ago without adjusting for inflation.
Wow.
I think that will be enough to provide some snot-bubble-inducing laughter. Actually concerned for Henry's health right now because Netflix decided to one-up it by dropping a full Witcher Season 4 trailer, which also happens to be the first trailer of any kind for this show, released a whopping 3 weeks before it premieres. Now, they did release a small clip a couple of weeks prior to this trailer that was ratioed and roasted into oblivion. And we
Oh my god.
some shocking...
Everybody fucking hates it. I mean, just honestly, you know what I've said before? Some babies deserve to be aborted. I think this is one of those.
News, the trailer is being ratioed and roasted into oblivion. But perhaps I'm being too
Careful, come on.
the other humbled by the entire world and Henry Cavill. I feel better already. Turn over a new leaf and
The vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum. It pleases me to be helpful.
I am Groot.
We are in this
Supposed to be the Baron. Oh, come on. Which turn?
Spent a lifetime battling monsters and men.
well, actually, Geralt has spent a lot of time being nerfed in his own show, including but not limited to being injured in the final episode of season 1 so the girls can fight it out. And those monsters he was fighting there's some variation of a woman who was subjugated by a man, so we should feel really bad against you guys, including the testicles with women's faces.
By the way, every single time that there was an option to like either spare or kill a character in Witcher 3, I killed them every single time. You're a succubus?
I am
you're
Groot.
dead. You're a dominant? You're dead. You're a werewolf? You're dead. It doesn't matter. I'm fucking you every single time. Healing. Yep. Always kill
A
him.
greatly reduced screen time chasing around the girls is the key to everything.
Wait, what? Can you really?
I feel better already. Healing power.
Born again!
I am Groot.
We are joining Geralt across the continent.
I do the right thing unless the wrong thing
Get you there,
is
Spider Zero.
This is a nice spot.
And lo and behold, Ciri is for the fourth season. I know she eventually becomes that in the books that were published over 30 years ago when it wasn't as much of a trope, but it is now. Probably why you don't take 6 years to produce 4 seasons where Geralt was never the central focus.
I feel like a lot of the excitement and popularity of The Witcher is derived from people that probably played the games. I think that a lot of people played the games and they liked the games a lot. I think that it's purely centered around Geralt going up and through Ciri. And then at some point, you can still have that happen while at the same time making her be a key part of the story and the most important key of the story. You can do both of these things. The game did this thing. Why can't you do it with a fucking show.
He was supposed to be the notorious and brutal rats from the books, although it's like they're just standing there waiting to be offended. But I don't think there is a single image from a Netflix adaptation that represents a Netflix adaptation better than this. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. This is Liam Hemsworth as the Temu Witcher. And listen, I've got nothing against the guy. He's got some big shoes to fill. I just hope he got through it. Oh, and I got to give
they literally had to, he set up the fail. I feel bad for the guy. Obviously, he took the bag, he took the money, etc. But like realistically, I mean, there's never gonna be there's no way that he comes out of this and people don't hate him.
You're welcome.
Right? I mean, like Cavill just fit the role. I don't know. Actually, what was really funny is that a lot of people, when Henry Cavill was originally cast for The Witcher, a lot of people were very skeptical about it, and they were like, "We don't know about that. The Witcher's supposed to be like, you know, more of like a kind of grungy guy. You know, he doesn't have like a facial structure, so the same thing." You know, and a lot of people were skeptical of it. I mean, people were skeptical of, you know, Heath Ledger playing the Joker, right? Because the movie he did before that was Brokeback Mountain. So, I think it's definitely, like, there's a lot of instances where that's the case, but he just nailed it. Like, Henry Cavill did a really good job. But the difference is that I think here, it's like people are, like, it's so insurmountable. It is. It's so insurmountable. I don't know. Is it skeptical of Henry being Geralt? He could be.
Quick credit here. See Disney, it's not that hard. Midgets from Dwarf. You can pump the brakes on the whole phenomenon thing. This is real!
That's what I think is crazy, is that they should have canceled the show. I don't know what they were thinking not canceling.
We finally get a shot of the Witcher's main character, Yennefer, and this season's antagonist, Vilgefortz, who, surprisingly enough, is after Ciri.
Whatever he's up to,
I would have never guessed.
Please have a sheet right there. And of course, there's a heavy dose of the obligatory feminist gobbledygook girl bossing.
I'll patch you up.
Wouldn't be a Witcher series without hysterical women screaming over dramatically.
Oh God!
I'll patch you up.
This sounds like, what is this, Portland?
Don't let anything stand in your way.
Uh-huh.
We've got an octopus problem here. I'll patch you up.
You get away with it. You get away with it. You get away with it.
And the most disappointing is Lawrence Fishburne, and while his resemblance to the character in the game is uncanny along with all the other Netflix casting, it's not disappointing that he was offered the role. It's disappointing that he accepted, and it doesn't help that he's delivering lines stolen from Hillary Clinton's campaign slogan.
That's my opinion, is that if you want to race swap a character, Lawrence Fishburne is an S-tier actor. He's great. I would give him a shot. I would. I don't think it's an issue. I think that really you're talking about having a really, really high-tier, high-quality actor doing this. Yeah, that's... Is Lawrence okay? Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I don't think it's a big deal. It doesn't matter.
There goes one of them.
What's something that you always carry?
Yeah. And the Asker is back, a character who was tolerable in season 1 and the sitcom Gay Best Friend.
This is real firepower!
Last time I checked, all graveyards are graveyards. The only character development Asker has had over 3 seasons is he's gay now. Speaking of that, I'm still waiting for my good friend Dan Bass to cover that song that Yasker sang to his boyfriend.
Man.
Then there's Liam Hemsworth, Geralt of Rivia, especially the voice as compared to Henry Cavill. Not exactly seamless, but it might give you whiplash. Dude, I was waiting for him to say bro there. He sounds like a jock. I guess Gone is the stoic Geralt, and at least Henry tried to channel Doug Cockle's voice from the games. And it's not just the voice, it's smirking. And this just comes off looking like a parody or a fan film, not to disrespect the fan films. To be fair, this show has always had its problems with production design, hair, makeup, costumes, and general verisimilitude from the Nilfgaardian ballsack armor and...
Wait. How is it that Lord of the... Like, this is... Look at that, bro. You know what that reminds me of? There it is, guys.
I have this water here.
This is the Nilfgaard General right here. Yeah. There he is. See him? We're just gonna kill him. Well, hey, that's kind of what they did to the show, right?
You'll need
So
a
it makes
top-notch
sense.
team to win this one.
Remember in season 1, to modern vernacular, to Ciri always looking like she walked out of a...
I think that's another really big issue that a lot of these shows have, that a lot of people might not realize, is that the way that the dialogue is spoken is just, it feels like it's very modernized, and it doesn't feel like you're really in a fantasy world. Just by the way, just the way they talk, the tone, the words that are used, it just doesn't feel, it doesn't have that level of escapism.
Magneto raised
Like, I remember noticing this a lot in Rings of Power and then thinking back to the dialogue in Lord of the Rings.
You don't have to be a
salon, despite running around in the mud and the muck all the time. Then there's this girl in the Rats who went to the local Sally's Beauty Supply on the continent, got herself some Wella Blondor Volume 20 to bleach that hair. And before we go any further, I know where you're going in the comments section. My wife was a hairstylist. That's the only reason I know that.
Yeah. Wow.
I guess it could have been a weave, but whatever it is, Netflix and Lord wanted to make damn sure this epic fantasy based on Polish folklore reflected the Los Angeles they live in today. But credit to Netflix for knowing their audience and guessing correctly. That within 30 seconds you would be bored of this trailer, so just in case you didn't notice with your own eyes that they recast Geralt, they decide to go full meta. They start out with a little self-awareness.
Hope is reborn. Oh, right, because now they're recasting the... This is so shameless. So fucking shameless.
My face isn't sealed yet.
No shit.
Listen, this will not be the first nor the last time a major character is recast and then dealt with the subtlety of a napalm enema. Yes, actors leave projects and characters get recast all the time. Hell, Netflix had to deal with an actress recasting herself in real life and forcing a recast in the show. Who elected you, Vanya?
So it begins. Feeling stronger already.
Sure,
Oh shit. I didn't even know about that. Oh my god.
That was awesome, but this one's a little, it's a lot different. To state the obvious, Henry Cavill was this entire show. He was actually the same in the game and the book. And it is reported that Lawrence and Netflix were thinking about replacing him in season 2 with Ian Hemsworth, which only would have resulted in the show being canceled sooner. And hell, Netflix saving a lot of money. Back to the Henry couldn't save the show. The writing is abysmal. Let's go back to this line from the end of the trailer. Aside from the subtle meta commentary, what the fuck does that even mean? And before anybody gets into, well, that line will obviously have some context in the show. Born again! District, who thought it was a good idea to have Henry Cavill playing the titular character from the Witcher show, only appeared in 1/3 of his own series. Total one. Is that never miss? Time for episode 125, not counting credits, is 4 hours and 35 minutes. Geralt's screen time was 73 minutes, 24.8 seconds. Henry Cavill is only on screen for 27.97% of season 3, part 1. As far as...
That's crazy. Yeah. Geralt? Geralt was made a side character?
Vehicle reached a checkpoint.
See, like, I remember I watched season 1 and I thought it was really good. I liked it. And then I heard season 2 was bad. I didn't even watch it. I was like, okay, I believe you.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Season 3 Part 2 is concerned, it's even worse. Total runtime for episodes 6 through 8, not counting credits, is 2 hours, 30 minutes, and 31 seconds.
2
Henry
hours.
Cavill's total screen time, 25 minutes and 3 seconds.
Wait, that's even less.
That means Henry Cavill was only in 16.67% of the final 3 episodes. Truth of the matter.
What the fuck is going on?
I think everyone is in agreement on this one, including Netflix. From Ted Sarandos down to Lauren Histrich, Liam Hemsworth, who hopefully is earning a lot of money to make him feel better. To anybody watching this video, to everyone who's not going to be watching this show. It is cooked. But the good news is they really are bringing people together. Every time Netflix or a fan site posts the news, or a trailer, they get destroyed in the comments. And it doesn't matter what social media platform. It's really hard for us to even find a positive comment on any social media platform.
No, I don't think anybody gives a shit about this show anymore. I think that they don't. I think that again, like the casting decision, like I was going over the casting number, and then the casting director, or one of the people that was involved with the decision making, said that they wanted to find somebody that wasn't traditionally attractive. It's like, like, why would you say that? And I don't think that was the exact terminology, but that was the gist of what they were saying. He's like, why would you do that? Why would you say, like, isn't that an insult? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm ready to
Yeah,
heal.
I remember. Yes, it was something insane. It was exact. I don't remember. Wow.
I would have a hard time finding comments like this. I was willing to give this a chance without Henry Cavill, but the trailers just ruined Liam Hemsworth's career in less than 3 minutes. Look at all of these strong, confident women preparing for war, while the supposed main character looks weak and constantly questions himself. Rotten Tomatoes will probably give it a 9 out of 10. It looks all right, I suppose. But it's not Geralt. Liam is a fine actor, but the shoes he is trying to fill are too big. Cavill is Geralt. Liam is discount Geralt. No matter, y'all butchers galore and y'all, which I can say now, ruined this show. It had unlimited potential, but y'all went woke. Hired writers who thought they was going to
never miss.
Like, this is one thing, if I ever see, like, a gender swap or a race swap with a character, and it's not, like, just being Florence Fishburne, like, then, yeah, I'm going to assume it's love. Like, unless you're putting somebody into a role that is like an S tier, like, goated actor, I am going to assume it's going to be I will. Like, I'm gonna be real. Why? But why? The reason why is because you are now putting your social worldview and your politics ahead of being true to the source material. Fundamentally, that's what you're doing. Instead of casting somebody that is accurate to the source material and that would fit the role, you are instead doing something that fits your worldview. And so it shows at the very beginning, a lack of respect for the material and a lack of willingness to, more of a willingness to put your own opinion in instead of that. So that's the reason why. It's categorically a disrespect to the show. Yeah, Idris Elba is I don't think people really care when it's somebody who's like a really, really great actor. I think there's a lot of examples of that. Nobody complained about that because the guy's great. But the issue is that whenever you're just putting random actresses and actors in these roles for what seems to be diversity reasons, it seems weird. It's weird, it's off-putting, and I think it takes you out of the escapism. Because when you see the character there, it reminds you, or at least it does with me, to a lot of people, that this character is only there in this way because of like a real-world cultural reason. You know, it's like, I think Aquaman is like, I remember in the comics, I think, Aquaman's a white guy. Jason Momoa playing Aquaman, nobody cares because he's a great actor and he was a perfect Aquaman. So it's not about necessarily, it's not binary, but I think with a lot of these like Netflix adaptations, you're taking actors that don't have that level of like, star power and value, and then you're just putting them in these roles, and I think that it just seems extremely politicized.
Better than the source material and let go the only person in the entire building who wanted to stay true to the source material.
Yeah.
It's over. Why do you think replacing the main character after 3 seasons will work at all?
Exactly.
I'm honestly
Pick your
asking,
hero.
how fucking
Or villain.
retarded are
I'm
you,
not judging.
motherfuckers?
True.
Liam's great. Henry's great. The issue isn't who plays the character.
Yeah.
In this case, it actually is, but I see your point.
I will
The
bring
issue
peace
has
to this
always
universe,
been
no
and
matter
will
the
be
cost.
the showrunners and writers messing with what makes the character so great. It's the fundamental misunderstanding that made people leave. All the haters will definitely see it just so they can trash talk every single episode.
They will. Yep.
And the comments on the massively ratioed trailer on YouTube aren't any better. Geralt sounding like Thor, cheesy
In a world
magic, still,
consumed by
Sam Fender
darkness,
background
I
music,
will gladly
witches
be
using
the light.
swords.
Who the
let's
fuck would do
fucking
that?
Building an army, pretty sure Geralt or
30
Yen never
seconds
had an
before you
army.
attack.
Global
Get
phenomenon. Honestly, at this point, you just gotta laugh. What a
It's
company
sad.
I've ended up with.
What a
Couldn't have said it
strange
better,
alliance.
Geralt. Hard pass.
should be
The
at
Witcher
odds,
4,
you and
Love
I.
and Thunder.
Why
But I
do
really
you
think
say
Dutch
that?
14 sums it
Man
up the
of
best.
gold.
The
I
Netflix
seek to
producers who had
save
one
souls.
simple job. Turn
You
a
seek to
best-selling
collect
book into
them.
a moving picture by
but
taking
if they
it
And
all
it's
forward.
also like you had all the
exist,
games
would
that
both be out
did
of business.
additional lore as well.
The battle starts
Like
in 5.
this was the freest show
3,
that you could have ever
2,
had.
1.
Like they basically
All you need
storyboarded
to do
out
is
like the
capture
way
the
the
mission
characters
area.
would act
Got
and
it?
everything. Like it was a slam. Yeah, this is supposed to be super fucking easy. Like how do you mess this one up, guys? It's
Putting
crazy.
it on the screen.
The blueprint was there and you failed. Yeah, they sure did.
A nice deep freeze.
Failed. You want to know why? I'm going to tell you. And you said in one of your interviews you wanted to tell your own story in the Witcher's world. And the problem is that you and the
Tell your own story and
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
They get inside of something that's good and they make it bad. That's what they do. They're like, oh well, no, it's not about telling the story. No, I know how to do it. No. We're not gonna listen to the guy that's being paid an infinite amount of money for you just to have the privilege of being able to adapt his books into a story. No. I, the Netflix producer, showrunner, that nobody will remember in 5 years, knows totally better than this best-selling author that's being paid infinitely more than me just for the privilege to use his books. No, I know what's best. I'm gonna do it instead. Think about how fucking pretentious that is. It's unreal.
I am born anew.
you employ are nobody. And nobody cares about your story.
Paywall.
What I care about is Kelsey's story. His novels are a global phenomenon, not your series. The only phenomenon here is that you will still have a job and how your families manage to put 10,000 uploads. Well said, and we'll end it with this. Fans, fix the writing. Henry Cavill, fix the writing. Netflix, no, here's the intent. Fans, we're not going to watch it. Have rationalized it in their head. They have actually probably gotten their 7 seasons instead of
What I think to be funny about this is that with any of these like shows or anything like that, even if you think all of the fans are toxic, they're still not going to buy the show. They're not going to watch the show. They're not going to buy the fucking DVDs or, you know, go see a movie or buy a game. So, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, this is what I think that these people have a problem with, is that they think because they have, like, some sort of authority, that the entire world is going to just kind of align with them and work out anyway. Your powers are mine!
I am ready to put on a show!
But if enough people agree with you, you're still wrong. And you might think that you're right, but when you're trying to sell a product, you're going to have a bad time. Why do they care so much about putting modern day politics into every project and casting decisions? Because they want to influence people's thought and they want to manipulate the way that they see things. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's again. The amazing Spider-Man! This answer is probably the correct one. The simplest answer is the correct one. It's because they believe in it, and they want everybody else to believe in it, and they want to force it on everybody. That's the reason why. Yeah, it's simple. They want people to think like this and see things this way. They're not writers, they're propagandists. I think so. I think in a lot of cases it's true.
Quantum Magic. Being canceled after 5. Oh, and in my last video, we talked about this show costing $500 million. Well, now it's been reported that you could add another $200 million to the total, and now this disaster has caused $3 billion. When it's all said and done for Lauren Hisrington, who wants to go down in history as the first female showrunner of a hit male-skewing epic fantasy, will go down in obscurity as just the latest woman who has ruined male-skewing epic fantasy. And as far as the
Harry Potter, I mean, this is the problem, is that women that write stories like this, and they think about the fact that they're a woman, and that's the focus, well, you're just a fucking retard. I mean, I think Expedition 33 was written a lot by a woman. Shadowbringers and Final Fantasy 14 was written by a woman. People love that. Harry Potter was written by a woman. There's plenty of women who have written incredible and great stories. And it's not, they're not good because it's a girl, right? What the fuck? Are you fucking retarded? What the fuck is wrong with you?
As toxic fans are concerned, well, Netflix has made the same mistake as every studio in Hollywood by intentionally mislabeling
Born again!
They can blame them for all their crimes. And I'll leave you on the wise words of Henry Cavill, which might explain to Netflix why he's so popular, and him, he would still be around, and the fans would still be around.
When it comes to fans, it is a fan's
We are undefeatable!
to have whatever opinion they want to have. And people are going to be upset because, especially when we're talking about books or games, because you're never going to be the exact person they had it or who they played on Witcher 3, for example. I don't necessarily consider that toxic. I just consider that passionate.
Yeah, it's not going to be perfect. That's just how it is.
If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard,
of course.
Thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
I don't know how there's been such a media circle jerk around trying to patronize viewers and players of different content and then talk down to them and say how bad they are. Why would somebody want that? What is that? Because, and this is the same thing that some streamers have and content creators. Like they have like this animosity towards their audience or something like that, or they're mad at their audience. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, you have a great job, you get to do what you want to do, and now you're mad. What the fuck is going on? So I don't know what this is forcing their agenda on us. Yeah, don't fuck with the war. Yeah, they see patriotism as the opposite of feminism. I don't know if it's really that hard, right? Or it's that big. But yeah, I think so. Why do people keep trying to impose their will on something outside of their control in order to change it? Because that's what they want you to do what they want. That's the reason why. And they are bossy, controlling, manipulative liars that want to infect everything that you like and change it into what they want. That's what happens if you get to entitlement. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, behind the thought. I am actually. You guys ever notice that? There's so many people that are patronizing.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man.
I mean, like, what and their own audience. Like, it's so weird. Like, what the fuck do you, what's wrong with you? Why would you do that ever? And I don't understand where these people are coming from. I don't understand why they do this, but it's extremely fucking common, man. And, yeah, late-stage cancel culture wokeism. Yeah, I mean, I would say, like, a little bit of that, but, like, I think it's a little bit less. When you fight your audience, you always lose. I mean, yeah, I would say in some cases that's kind of true. You do lose in a lot of cases, and I think also it's a good thing that you lose.
Destiny awaits. Do not give in.
Remakes are outperforming actual games.
Again!
You're seeing remakes popping off way more. And apparently, it's not nostalgia. I think they're right.
Some assistance, please.
Remakes and remasters seem to be dominating these days. Yep, here's what's kind of cool. There's a new set of folks that show something real striking. The 90% of people have played a remaster or a remake within the last few years. Which isn't really a surprise. I mean, I've certainly played it too. I imagine you have. Who's to blame you? these games are dominant. And the biggest example is probably the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster, because that has outsold all but one of the new games released this year.
That is so pathetic.
Is this just the industry an endless cycle of nostalgic re-releases?
I think the re-releases are a stopgap measure before video games become based again and made by people that actually play video games. One of the big problems is that the video game industry has been taken over by mentally ill Funko Pop collecting leftist millennials that hate themselves and that are fat. And they don't make good video games. And so what's happening right now is seeing a market correction, and many of those games are banned.
Back to my old self. All consuming itself.
That's what's happening.
Maybe not. Because for most of these remakes, it's actually not that nostalgic. I feel better already. Impossible because most of the games are the original version. Yeah. And that's just born again! When I say every week things we remake or remaster, that's not idle words, it's quite literal. Last week it was the first chapter and Platypus Replay. This week there's Pac-Man World 2 Repack. Perhaps not Oblivion Remastered here, and you'd be forgiven for being confused about how it appears in some cultural zeitgeist crying out for early 2000s games that have already
it's not early 2000s games, it's that these games that we feel were so ridiculously fucking good that I don't think people even realized how good they were. That's the thing. It's like you go back and you look at Legend of Zelda Link to the Past.
Control lost.
That's it. I mean, that's...
The time entanglement is a vexing problem.
Been re-released more than half a dozen times. It's a bit weird, but like, to put some stats in the Elder Scrolls Oblivion situation, that remaster sold more copies in its first month than the original game did in 15 months. And in total, it has already completely outsold the original release of the game, which is kind of...
I wonder if it outsold Starfield.
Now, you could argue that something sad is happening here. The publishers are just pushing lazy nostalgia grabs because they can't make new games that are good.
Oh, wait a second. I think that's partially true. It's probably easier to do a remake of a game than completely make a brand new game. I think that's probably true. Like, they're going to bank on guarantees and for sure things. Definitely. Yeah, of course they would do that.
And that nobody's money's going to new games. And then maybe this all shows us that people crave the good games of the past that we used to play, not the bad games that we get now.
Yeah,
well, that would make full sense because of a kind of staggering statistic from this recent survey that 85% of you have played a remake or a remaster of a game that you did not play in the first place.
Well, of course that makes sense. I mean, it obviously makes sense. Like, there's a lot of people that, like, for example, I watched, like, the 10 Commandments. The first time I watched it with like the remastered version of it, like with higher fidelity and you know, like a couple of like digital correction things. And like I didn't watch the version that my parents watched in movie theaters in like the 50s or something like that, right? Like, so I think this is very common across most types of media.
Actually seems that this
it does.
Let's dive into the survey, and to do that we've got to define our terms. Remakes are complete reimaginings built from scratch, so updated graphics, gameplay mechanics, and sometimes story elements.
I'm one of these people. I played Demon's Souls for the first time when it was remade for PS5.
Remasters are enhanced versions of originals.
Great game.
That means
incredible.
Visual sound and performance, but the core gameplay still the same. Here's what the data tells us. MGM Consulting surveyed 1,500 US and UK gamers and GameIndustry.biz brought the data to our attention, and for the sake of uniformity, they gave respondents those specific definitions so everyone's on the same terms, and they asked people how they feel. And the findings, so there's the 90% stat of people having played at least one remaster or remake.
What a massive indictment of the current video game landscape. That remakes of video games from 15 years ago are just totally throwing out the brand new games that they put all this work and millions of dollars into. That's bad. That's real bad. Nostalgia sells? Well, congratulations. You're retarded.
And considering how many people think that's not a price, then there's the other fighters that I just talked about. There's some other ones too. 80% and 71% respectively believe that these games are comforting and nostalgic at the same time as being a good way to share beloved games with new generations. Through these numbers, we actually see that the majority of people are picking up these games for the first time.
See, hear that?
Where it's getting tricky in public is what the hell to do, and we've got big examples of that. Some of them are, say, older Assassin's Creed remake examples. There's the whole Space Marine 1 thing, and there's a core tension. If you change the game too much, people won't like it. If you don't change it enough, other people also won't like it, because maybe what they're expecting is a Resident Evil remake tier of work. But you know what's nice? You don't need to take this shit in vibes, because now we've actually got some data. Of course. Let me know if this gels with your experience. So 35% of players say remakes are better when they change narrative elements. 30% say they're worse. 35% say they're fine either way. So
you can't say it depends on the mechanic. Like, there are some mechanics that are good to change, some mechanics that aren't good to change. It really just depends.
Rise, my friend!
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's a case-by-case basis. Like, in general, changing narrative elements, though, I think that's a pretty big no. Like, I don't think you should be changing that. I mean, except for, like, certain unique
maximum!
Yeah, if you're a developer, what do you do?
So, yeah, the camera in Ninja Gaiden. Like, Ninja Gaiden Black, they should have changed the camera. The camera was bad, they should have made it better. Those are the kinds of changes that I think should happen. But things like making the game easier or, other stuff like that.
I am ready to
regardless, you'll see some people are going to be unhappy. It's going to continue a discourse around these games. We haven't settled on a correct approach, but we have now learned some things. So what affects player experience the most? Well, making games look and feel modern, and as the survey people put it, gamers expect major graphical overhauls, updated controls, and improvements to mechanics.
I think people really just want to see the cinematics in a better quality. Like, even with Warcraft Reforged, I think that's what a lot of people were looking forward to. It's like, I think a lot of people were hoping that they were going to show, like, the Illidan Marcus fight and then reimagine it. But they did the laziest, worst possible thing imaginable.
This is where we can get some solid examples. Take Capcom's Resident Evil D4. Specifically cited controls. Basically just saying that gamers of the younger age would probably struggle with. And yeah, can you imagine the Zoomers and the Gen Alphas trying to do tank controls like original Resi? That would be mad. Obviously, if you change too much, it'll feel wrong to fans of the original. Like, in a way, there has to be a little bit of authenticity promoting clunky controls of Leon, because if the controls like an Uber badass, he wouldn't exactly play like that, because it's your mastery of his controls that actually nails the character's development and capability throughout the series. As we press on through the survey, well, we get to talk about pricing. Certainly, there's opinions on pricing. 74% of users expect a game to be cheaper than the original release to a greater or lesser degree. And that's both about the value of the upgraded product and the decision to publish.
I think that's true.
6% though go further. They say they want them free or within subscription services. Also, time matters. Only 4% of people think 2 years is enough time between releases. 14% say 3 to 4. 32% say 5 to 6 as the appropriate
5 to 6 years for a remake? Get the fuck out of here. What are you, retarded? Absolutely not. Like, remakes should be for games that are like 10 years old. I mean, Witcher 3 is 10 years old. Do we need a remake for Witcher 3? No, it looks amazing. Like, what do we... No, I want a remake for, like...
Born again! Maximum pulse!
I don't know, like fucking Bloodborne. Like, Bloodborne's already good. Just make it 60 FPS, that's it.
Time, and certainly, hey, look at you, PlayStation, you guys really do like doing it this way. But if you want a perfect example of everything going wrong, it comes from a really goddamn sad place, and that is the Space Marine Remastered Edition. Earlier this Oh dear, it did not do that. Existing players felt cheated, there was no discounted upgrade pack. The Anniversary Edition had effectively been re-released back in 2021, and the Master Crafted Edition really didn't add enough graphical improvements whatsoever.
It doesn't look that good.
It felt like a cheap cash grab, capitalizing Space Marine kills the especially once the game is accessible in a modern digital hitting the re-release button. The company
unless you're making Skyrim.
These will obviously keep trying, and that's because the opportunities far outweigh the costs.
Yeah.
I'm talking about business case. Think about the last time Oblivion is a well-done game scenario, in great part because there are simply more gamers now. Among them you'll see, in like, say, rookie startups, people being like, oh, you know, if I just get 10% of the market, then I'll make X amount of money. It's a little bit silly, but it can kind of fit our purpose on here. Even if you assume that a game sold to 1% of the audience way back in the day, and it could still sell to 1% of the current audience again in 2025, then it would be worth the cost of updating because, good God, the audience for games has increased massively. And this survey effectively validates that logic. The idea that 85% of players are willing to buy remakes with no personal attachment is huge.
Well, it's because the old games are objectively really good. Like, that's the issue, is that a lot of the newer games have, like Ghost of Yotai is a great example of this. Why am I doing these, like, bamboo quick time events, cutting bamboo? Like, this is, what the fuck is this? Why am I playing a lute in order to, like, you know, remember what it was like, you know, with my mom when I lived on a farm? Like, I have to pick up rock, like, it's all of these, like, little bits of bullshittery that new video games have, that they're loaded out of their fucking mind with just garbage. Like, nobody wants this, nobody cares about this, it's fucking boring. And so, a lot of these old video games are meat and potatoes. A lot of new video games are built around retention mechanics. They're built around trying to make you play the game longer. They're built around trying to make you do those new things because it fits with the controller for the PlayStation 5. This is not something, this is a top-down decision that's being made by the developer or the publisher.
I am ready to put on a show!
Like, why do you have a house building simulator inside of Assassin's fucking Creed? You get to decide the color of the cat in your house? I thought you were supposed to be assassinating Oda Nobunaga. What the fuck is going on? And so I see this stuff, and what? Nobody asked for this. What's this bullshit? And so I see this happen with all these games, and I think to myself, it's just fucking ridiculous. The amount of mini games, little bits of bullshit, and all these games. Assassin's Creed 2 is somewhat funny. Maybe it was a good idea then, maybe it wasn't. I never played the game, I don't know. But I'll tell you with Assassin's Creed Shadows, it had no fucking business being in there, and it was development time, investment time, and you needed to have this in order to do functions of the game. So you needed to go to the house, you needed to upgrade the blacksmith because it allowed you to change the traits on your weapons and on your armor. And it's like, what are you talking about? What is this? And I think that a lot of gamers want to play video games. They don't want to play shitty versions of movies. They don't want to play mini games that wouldn't have even been made as an arcade machine in the 80s. They want to play a video game. They don't want to play filler. It's just filler.
I am ready to put on a show!
People played it back in the day, so these remasters will have vanguard-ish super fans, and it helps with popular games down to some of I've got to say, I do have a bit of a theory here on why these games can work so damn well. So, across the channel, across the years, we've talked about so many games about stories that have been utter goddamn shit. I think a great example of one, which, I mean, that it even came out is kind of shocking, would be Dragon Age. So, the deal with Dragon Age, right, that went through, like, multiple redevelopments, and I believe they did a reboot and then made the version we got in, like, 18 months. And that is a story that is just repeated across so many.
Such a bad game.
games. Now, a lot of that is because
incredibly
of
bad game,
right? There's the game that they plan, and then they just keep on needing to goddamn reboot, and it ends up being complete chaos. But you see with these remasters, you already have a proven formula, and that proven formula means you have far less design risk. One of the things that we talk about in like project planning is the difference between a known unknown and an unknown unknown.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So an unknown unknown is something you just truly cannot predict.
Yeah.
And any purely new project is going to be stuffed full of them. Whereas if you're doing a remaster of a game that you've already got like the whole template for,
yeah, you already have a lot of the uncertainties defined. Yeah, of course.
That's going to be way, way, way easier.
According to
because
Boondocks?
you can point to
like a military
everyone
general that
across your
said that or
production
invented
team
that.
to the literal thing that they're remaking. And that is actually huge. Because one of the things we're pretty good at in this industry is, well, scaling up big production teams. One of the things we're less good at is effectively using all of those production teams. Some of that can be bad management, as seen in so many stories. Some of that can just be that games are extremely complex.
I don't think that's what happens. I think that this is something that is happening across all companies and especially inside of tech, where I think that there is a form of corporate entropy that happens that as a company is around for a long enough period of time, they start to bring on more and more people, and then more people bring on more people, and then the company becomes too big. I think this is what happens all the time. And it happens across industries, it happens in general.
Software development goes. They have so much design risk that with teams as large as Game
Bro,
Team...
how do you know that? You're just a streamer? Well, because I founded and organized multiple companies myself. I've invested into companies. I have a degree in business. And I'm also not a fucking retard. I can see that whenever Elon Musk fires 80% of Twitter and then Twitter stays the same and it still turns on and works the same as it did, and in fact it gets better, I think that's pretty illuminating that, hey, maybe all the people that you fired didn't necessarily do anything. You don't need to be a genius to be able to see what's in plain sight.
Have ended up being, it's hard to just utilize everyone well.
That's just
me. And that's where I think the remakes and the remasters actually can do something really important. They can take away risk, and that opens the door for pretty amazing levels of polish. The best examples, of course, Resi 4 and probably Oblivion. I'm sure you can name a few as well. But here's the weird thing. It's not just successful games getting remastered. Any game
rude to you, it's aggravating? Well, I just think that they're stupid. Like, I don't really take any offense to it, right? It's like if a dog barks at me, I don't ask myself what I did wrong. I'm just a moron. It's not something I would be like, oh, wow, I wonder what I did wrong. There's no reason to take care of that or be serious about that at all.
Exists within an IP library can get a second chance. If a game was niche before, well, actually that niche could be far larger in 2025. And that's why we've been seeing companies hoovering up legacy IP. Seriously, Embracer does it, Atari does it,
then they shut down the studios.
Microids, I think I'll go with Microids, they do it as well. If you can sell die-hard fans of the old stuff,
the same
you can also
shit.
sell to new genre fans. And it
Call
seems
it
that's been driving a lot of IP hoovering up over the last few years. Ultimately then, it's a perfect storm. You get either lower development costs or perhaps more efficient deployment of your capital because, well, you know, you're remaking a thing. You already know what the thing looks like. Even better for the rights holders, there's the potential of outsourcing for upscaling and improvements with the likes of, say...
Blizzard outsourced and a couple of other companies did. Usually outsourcing doesn't go very well, but it's quite common.
Asper. That sort of thing's always been the case, but with this new data that we've got, we can see that the audiences, we are just as responsible for all of this stuff happening because we actually do turn up for these games and we buy them.
Because they're good.
You know what? Whenever I think about my recent play habits, yeah, there's actually a lot of this in them.
Well, also keep in mind, look at Classic WoW. I don't know if he's going to use that as an example or not. It looks like probably not. But like Classic WoW is a really great example of sometimes the old stuff was actually better than the new stuff.
Because it's been Oblivion remastered. Recently, Last of Us Part 1 remastered. You know why? Friend hadn't played it. We wanted to play through it together. The upgraded version, as it turns out, While yeah, the multiplayer ain't there, god damn it is gorgeous. And the gameplay updates have it playing slick as hell. It's been a brilliant experience. And it proves the core of The Last of Us is as timelessly good as it always was. If you give it a big new lick of paint, it'll just be the best version to play now.
Exactly.
In the best case, it can be like when you get a new scan, a new remastering of a classic movie that's absolutely beloved, that allows people to fully enjoy it and fully appreciate it on newer hardware. And I think that's honestly great for games. There's loads of games that I think shouldn't be relegated to the past. But there is another...
Yeah, Blizzard did this recently with remastering, not really like changing a whole lot, but bringing out Warcraft 2 again. They did the same thing. And yeah, it's also, it's a money grab. It's easy money. It's good for fans. It activates old fans. It gets them back into the ecosystem. There are only positives.
Side to this. Making new games is more expensive than ever. And as an example of that, Shuhei Yoshida, who you may know for being fairly legendary within PlayStation for a long ass time, he was saying recently, and he's not with PlayStation anymore, but that the single player games now cost so much money to make that they actually need the additional income from remasters and PC ports to
maybe stop spending so much money on motion capturing people's faces and just focus on making a game rather than a movie. That's my opinion.
Actually make shit viable. Now, theoretically, there is an upper limit here. You can't constantly remake old stuff because eventually you'll run out of it.
Sure.
And if there's any form of